There we go. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the January edition of the Michigan Eco Village and Intentional Community Meeting.
No.
All right. So this last week, I took a poll in our Facebook group, trying to see what the group dynamics was, where we needed to focus on, like what to talk about during our meetings, and get some interest of who would be willing to like offer information or teach other people, just kind of like get a general feel of what the group wanted. So my findings from the polls so far, and we've had a great response because there's been probably about with almost we I think we just tipped past 400 people in the group. I throughout the whole poll, it looks like maybe like I want to say probably around like 50-ish people have responded so far.
Okay.
So that's pretty good.
Mhm.
Um, and I'm hoping that because of the Facebook algorithms, if every couple of days I tag like everybody on it, maybe it will get some more traction. But the number one thing so far in the group has been to find a community to live with or on.
Mhm.
So what I was thinking, like a good idea for that is that there are so many of them out there that we don't know about yet, because we're just getting started. And I think that like creating a file or something in the Facebook group, with any that we find, because I know that Mitch did find some, and he had posted it in a comment that if we run across them to put them in there so that people have they can like open the file and say, okay, these are all the current ones that we have going on right now. So that will be easier for group members to find what they're looking for. I love the lady that posted, I can't remember what their farm is, but she's been in there pretty active lately. And she had just posted like her community guidelines and stuff. I mean, I thought that was a great post and like the interaction and stuff. So we need to like find more people that, have communities and stuff and get them like, hey, like we have this group and like get you in front of more people. And then the second one was legalities. That one had 20 votes on that one. And I think that one's probably like, pretty high for everybody on the list of I know that a lot of people haven't researched or don't know how to research, um how to either going about finding land or financing land, or how big rooms have to be, or like we watch a lot of like prepper type stuff where people use trailers instead of a permanent fixture, so that it's
Mhm.
not so it gets past, it skirts around laws and stuff like that. So it'd be great if we could, find people that know more about that stuff. I know that was that one gentleman last month who had a lot of valuable information, and I'd love to pick his brain. So maybe that's something that we can talk about and set up in the future as well. And the third thing was to lead, start, build, guide, whatever your preferred term is, a community. So I think that's, pretty self-explanatory. And then the last one was to grow, raise, and preserve your own food. So there's a lot of people that are interested in that as well. And we had two people comment on the post, that they were going to be willing to teach in some capacity. One of the ladies said that she knows a lot of uh, the legalities and stuff with stuff within Michigan, because I know it's like different for every state. And then both of them, had farm stuff as well. And that led me to something that I thought was interesting that we have not talked about yet, was that um possibly doing like meetups on people's farms or properties in the future to like get some hands-on learning or interact with people that are already doing it and see how they're functioning in person in real life, because it's an entirely different sort of feeling than us just talking online.
Yeah,
So
right.
that's what I got from the poll. Um,
Awesome.
Yeah, yeah, great. That was a good idea, really good idea. It was.
Thank you. So I guess now we just kind of like need to figure out exactly how to pull all that together. And that I am not sure of.
So I saw probably within the last week a place out in, I don't know if it's pronouncing it right, Montague. Montague. So it's like
Yeah.
south of Grand Rapids, wasn't it? Or was it just north? It was south of Grand Rapids, where they will allow you and actually need you to, if you want to try out the community, if you have a place, a tent, a trailer, or whatever, they will let you go there and stay and like you're permanently moved in and do everything that you're supposed to be doing within the community and decide if you like it or not. And then obviously you get a chance to meet everybody else there in the community to see if it's a good fit. So that was, shoot, I wrote it down somewhere.
Yeah, but they were looking for positions for people to work there,
Well,
like childcare
Well,
and.
that's true too, right?
Yeah.
So they're looking to expand, not just even like um, have people come in and out. They were looking to actually double the size of their community they talked about. I'll find that and I'll get that to you guys. But that's you said it's over by Lake Michigan. For me, that's too far. I mean, if I didn't have other obligations around here, I suppose I could go anywhere in Michigan. But I currently do have my mom lives in Heartland and she's not doing great, so I kind of have to keep some eyes on that for now. But
Yeah, I think that's a great idea, and it might be something to add to the files as well. Like maybe this place offers a trial run for a certain period of time,
yeah,
and just, kind of cataloging information from each place as we learn it.
yeah,
Mm.
that's exactly. They would allow you to trial run it, if you will, for a 6 month or 3 month or a full year. I think they said so.
Mhm.
I can find it.
It also could be useful in attracting out-of-staters. Just having
Mhm.
that name, Michigan Eco Villages and Intentional Community, you're Miranda, you're talking about so many good resources in one spot that if anybody had any curiosity about what would it be like to live in, Michigan, I want to write Gretchen Whitmer or somebody, up in the upper echelons of government, make Michigan a place of, sustainability. Drop that
Mhm.
AI shit, excuse me, but drop
Um,
that and
Yeah,
think about the long-term viability of what we need to live through the collapse. And I'm not talking about just prepper kind of mentality. It's like really learning how to live with nature. And we've got an awesome nature ecosystem here.
yes, so
yeah,
much
we
water
sure
that we need to
do.
take care of.
Yeah, yeah.
Just look there and see if it's in there.
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
I can't find it now.
No, I think that's a great idea. Maybe like with the YouTube channel, it might be a good opportunity. I thought also too that like other people in our group can do videos and then put them on the YouTube channel of maybe like a little teaching segment or something that they do, or just I mean the beauty of being in Michigan and things that are possible here. And that might draw other people to us as well that want to do, the same things that we want to do.
Yeah.
Could we have a liaison person that could make our presence as a Michigan destination in the other intentional community Facebook groups?
Oh, like the big ones?
Yeah.
Yeah. I um I'm not in any of them, but I actually found this group through one of them because it was a suggested group. on
Okay.
my Facebook. So I thought that
Oh,
was pretty
Mm.
interesting how I actually found this group. But I was like, oh, I don't need to join like a huge, world one or United States one or whatever it was. But I think that's a great idea, like finding somebody that can, go around like once or twice a month or something to the other community groups and post in them and say, hey, we have this group going on. If you want to come, check out Michigan and see what it's all about, come join our group. So,
well, the intentional community Facebook groups, my experience with them has been individual people looking for a group, and they never think about Michigan. They want warmer weather or something like that. It also, there's a lot of people that show up asking about how to get one started. And so even if they don't choose to start one in Michigan, what we're offering is a lot of just good basic tools and conversations and important, from finance to legal to um, all this other stuff.
Mhm.
Um, they're not big intentional communities. The Facebook group is large, but the people that are, getting in on it are I get a sense that they're scrambling for something. They don't quite have the guiding hand, to get them connected to the perfect intentional community. Um, I know of a good friend of mine is in one and just got involved about a year ago in Vermont or New Hampshire, one of those states. My geography is really bad up in that area. Um, and the struggle that she has been having just getting settled into an established um, um, intentional community, I guess is what you'd call it, but it's more than that. They've got a forest school going. They've got anyways, I've rattled on long enough. There's a
Like
need
what?
out there for information and a clearinghouse of connecting people to more possibilities.
Mhm.
Like what kind of struggles is she having?
Well, this particular in group practices nonviolent communication that
Yeah.
Mhm.
work by Marshall Rosenberg, I think is his name. And and so they communicate with that kind of language. They deal with any kind of conflicts or requests or stuff, using that. A lot of the people are longtime residents there, and she's a newbie, so there was that, transition which wasn't all that welcoming at times.
That's a shame. Yeah. I guess not everybody's going to be accepted in any. I mean, I don't know. Everybody's got, the egos and the personalities that we're going to have to deal with, right? That's the thing.
Yeah.
Um, Sometimes it's not easy to manage. So
Hmm.
in the chat, I put the link to the other one. It's called Soul Fire Forest. That's the one over in Montague or whatever.
that's the one I was talking about with the guidelines. I really liked their setup. I thought it was a great learning place.
Yeah, right,
We need
right.
to see
So
if we can I need to contact them and see if we can get them on here, like, as guest speakers or something, one day to tell us, like, how, what they do, how they figure out their guidelines. I have so many, questions for them.
Hmm.
Janet, when you were talking, I wrote here in my notes, guest speakers, like people that have them out of Michigan, even, like how they deal with, conflict resolution, just whatever, like expanding to having people coming on and talking to us that are much more experienced and know what they're doing. I think that would be a great idea.
Hmm.
Um,
yeah, I do too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe we should maybe like in the group we should, like our group, we can say, we can have a file going of like people that are outside of Michigan, that we follow, that we might be interested in, and that, one of us could contact them and see if they might want to, speak for a little while at one of our monthly meetings on a specific topic, or just, answer questions or something like that. And also, other places to, look at and learn from as well in an easy location. So,
Yeah, wonderful idea. as much information
Yes.
as we can get from as many people. I mean, obviously, environment is different in all different states, but we can adapt to however we need to if we're looking for something that really we all kind of fall in love with, I suppose.
Yeah, and I think that winter can be really intimidating here too. So,
Mhm.
I think we should, talk about how it's not that bad. Like it's worth it for the summer.
Not anymore. It's not as bad as it was when I was growing up.
Right, right.
Uh,
So
Erica,
did you
where
grow
are
up
you
in
again?
Michigan? Pardon?
I'm in Lansing, and I was born
Oh,
and raised in Howell, which is kind of Howell, Heartland area.
Mhm.
I know, Stephen, you said your mom, I think, is in Heartland.
Yeah, right
hmm
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a specific area in Michigan that you are leaning towards or need to have?
Um, Pretty much like mid-Michigan, so Lansing area. My parents still live in Howell.
Mhm.
So anywhere between Howell and like Grand Rapids, Rockford area. Because
Mhm.
my brother and sister-in-law and my 2-year-old niece live in halfway between Rockford and Lowell. So that's kind of like the area that I want to like stay in to be
Mm.
near family.
Yeah. How about you, Miranda?
we're in the Lansing area as well.
Mhm.
We actually want to move further north, so I want to go colder. Um, I'm actually looking to establish a community that's multi-generational instead of so much as
Yeah.
outside people. Like I said in the last meeting, we have 6 children, and so that's going to add up pretty quickly. And I want them all to be able to have space to live with us if they choose to in the future. So I'm, getting the work in now and researching so that we can eventually get a property that's big enough for all of us and figure out how that's going to work and, how I can be the best me to be able to help everybody be the best them. And yeah, so.
Hmm.
Okay.
So I guess we talked about intentional communities, things that have already been set up, but what is everybody's idea? Again, Janet has her own thing right now, but she's still looking for different ideas for different things, and maybe um, is there? I know you're looking for women's only, right, Janice? You're trying to get a women's community kind of situated there, right? Right. Um, I mean, so how much land do you own there?
It's 0.9 acre.
Oh, okay, so it's just an acre.
Mhm.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
All
Didn't
The
you have
soil is so rich and I have made the equivalent of about 10 garden beds
right.
and learning how to grow in a French intensive kind of way, a biodynamic way, um, no-till and composting. It's a great, I mean, I've got enough confidence going on my third year and expanding every year. Um, but I'm also opening up myself to do more traveling, just getting away. So it would be great to have someone there at the house all the time that sort of knew the rhythms of that kind of
Mhm.
living. I my neighbor, a boy across the street came into my house and this past month and went in and watered my indoor plants. And
Okay.
so, I mean, I do have a little bit of a, support, some support people that'll water, or, if I'm gone or whatever. But remember how I said that there was this house across the street that was going to
Yes.
go up for sale? Everyone's got these large backyards. I mean, I don't know if everybody has 0.9 acre, but or an acre or what, but you don't need a lot of land when you've got good soil.
Yeah. When you say across the street, let's see, I don't have the map up in front, but I know approximately where you live because I told you my mom lived probably about a mile from you quite a few years ago.
Oh,
Um, is it across the main street? It's not 52, is it? Or
well, no, this is I live on Tiffany Street. It's just it's right in the village. It's only a two lane road.
Within
It's
subdivision.
literally across that
Okay.
street.
Okay.
Yeah, and it is M50 that goes through Brooklyn,
Okay.
and hooks up with US 12.
So how did you end up buying there?
Oh, that's sort of a long story. So I'd been coming to Michigan for, a couple of years, just cruising around. I had a brother in Niles.
Oh.
I grew up, I went to high school in St. Joseph. Um, but I was attracted back to my home turf, the soil, the four seasons, things like that, this organic pull. There wasn't a lot of conscious effort, but I've always owned and never rented. I don't like to rent for some crazy reason. Um, and I was just looking all over the place, and everywhere I looked was too expensive. I already own two other houses, so I already have two other mortgages. And so yeah, so I just kept expanding my circle and
Mhm.
left it up to the will of the universe to get me to where I needed to go. And this was a perfect place that I needed to go because there were other things happening in my life that came together during that year.
Yeah. And it's a nice little area. Are either of you, other two, do you know whereabouts she's at? Like Jackson, Ann Arbor-ish area? Okay, Lansing-ish between, yeah. So.
Mhm.
Yeah, we live closer to that area actually.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, I'm 45 minutes to the outskirts of Ann Arbor and about 50 minutes to the outskirts of Lansing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe a little bit more. But
What city was it again?
Jackson itself is like 25 minutes away. So I'm the very southern edge of Jackson County.
Okay.
You said in Brooklyn?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a village called Brooklyn, yeah.
Isn't Brooklyn where there's like they have like the Faster Horses Music Festival
Oh.
and
Michigan International
it
Speedway is
and they
the,
have like yeah, they have the Big Fam Music Festival and stuff at I don't remember what the place is called, but I think it's in Brooklyn. I've
it's
never
the
been to either of
Raceway.
them, but
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Michigan International Speedway, and yeah, when I first arrived, everybody warned me about the speedway and the noise and the traffic, and it's not that bad where I live. Faster Horses is that weekend in Country Music Festival in the summer, and it's like a party, you know, country western party, and deaths occur there because people get so shit-faced they just lose it.
I think a couple of years they had shut it down, to
Yeah.
tell you the truth. Maybe it's back going again, but I know my mom, like I said, she lived on Dougherty, which is the street just north of that.
Yeah, I know exactly
Take
where
in,
that is. Yeah.
yeah, they used to take
Oh,
in,
yeah. You don't want to live near that speedway.
right, they run about 5 or 6 acres, so they would take in campers, rent
Ah,
the area and
yeah.
stuff like that. They completely left town when Faster Horses. They would not rent out the property at all. When,
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's
but anyways, yes,
That's crazy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Janet, would it be helpful for you if I added like a file in the group for you to write like a advertisement that you're looking for somebody
sure.
or people? That way you can put it out there and
Yeah, I
people can
could.
contact you and know that you're
Okay.
actually looking for somebody or
Okay.
somebody's.
Yeah.
Okay.
My vision for my house is it's a large house. It's four bedrooms. I added a downstairs bathroom, so it's like, 1 3/4 bath. And I'm doing all the work myself, except for that professional stuff. And I would love to find a person or persons who is confident enough or wants to embrace those kinds of skills because someday it's going to be that we just can't call up somebody or even afford to have, a professional come
Mm.
in and do the drywall. Or I just picked me up I have so many tools. I tell you, I want to share my tools to people who want to use them. But I just picked up a insulator blower machine, not a huge one, not the kind that you can rent at Menards,
Hmm.
but it was a much smaller, medium size. And when I went to go pick it up, I was talking story with this with the guy who was selling it to me, and I told him what I wanted it for. I just need to top off the insulation, which is settled over the years, and a lot of gaps, are in the walls. And he says, "Oh, I'm so glad you're going to get this machine. This is exactly who I wanted it to go for." And those kinds of experiences and meetings are so exciting and motivating to know that there are, um, yeah, I mean, it's people power, right?
It
Mhm.
is. Yeah, it is.
We're also
Why
ones
I
that
don't
want to
want to
buy
have a guy
tools.
there, I'm not sure, I mean, it just seems like it would be a little bit uncomfortable. Um, but there's a component of healing as I'm a spiritual counselor, and I like I hope to gather possibly a couple women who are comfortable or motivated to go deeper into their healing process. um,
Wonderful. Yeah, I got some names to pass your way. Yeah.
Pardon?
I've got some names to pass your way.
Oh,
There's
okay.
people that I know that would fit in. They're about um, two people, I want to say. They're in the mid 40s. Totally into that vibe that you just shared. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I've got a lot of space, and one room is going to become a dedicated yoga room, and another space, a dedicated craft room. Um, well, there goes two bedrooms right there.
But I had to sneeze and I didn't want to sneeze and yeah. Well, then it didn't come out.
Did your husband say something?
Yeah, yeah.
He did. Yeah, what did you say? We
Oh,
he scooted away, so
I was
Yeah.
uncomfortable where I was sitting. I was
Oh,
gonna say she was talking about getting tools, and I think a lot of us that are looking into the community type feel are always out to do stuff for ourselves. So I'm thinking about last year we bought a cow from the Amish and we just went and had it dropped on a trailer for us on Clean Tarp, and we went out and bought a meat bandsaw and buying all that stuff that you normally wouldn't want to buy unless you have a bigger community. So we're able to actually get the cow and do the steaks. It's just a lot of time and effort to do it, and having all those tools. I think a lot of us out there in the community type information communities like to have all those, commercial grade, just under commercial grade or entry level commercial grade stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I mean, we've bought a lot of stuff and haven't been able to spend the time to do it. Walk-in refrigerators for our pole barn. I have one sitting out in the pole barn that I haven't put up, but it's there when I need it. So there's like a that was reminding me of when you were talking about your tools, your insulation blower. I go out and I buy the tool that you might only just rent every once in a while, but wood chippers and all that stuff. I try to gather it all myself. So that'd be nice
Yeah.
for community to know if anybody else has that type of stuff that we could
True.
maybe
Yeah.
even, help each other out with.
Mhm. It
Exactly.
it
Yeah.
makes me think of the city of Lansing has a thing called like a tool library where it's through the library. Yes, exactly. And you
Really?
can rent out like different, I don't know if they have an insulation blower, they might, but they have all kinds of like power tools and all kinds of things that you can rent out. And it's kind of
Yeah.
similar to that concept where it's like the thing that you might only need once or twice. And it's like, okay, do you just buy it yourself or how do you find someone who has it?
Yeah.
So
Mm,
yeah,
I
anyway,
love
that's,
that
yeah.
idea. Yeah.
yeah, I was reading through Soul Forest Fire's guidelines the other day, and they said that they have like communal tools that they have there, and you just like check them out, and then when you're
Mhm.
done with them, you check them back in, and it said in the paper or in the clause that if you break it, then you're responsible for replacing it, and so I was like, oh, that's great, like. all these things like it was such a great read because I was like, wow, I didn't even really think of this, you know. And so that was something that like I put on the poll because I'm like, I wonder if people, you know, are even thinking about this quite yet. So
Yeah.
Well, that's another purpose of this group is, I mean, between Lansing and Ann Arbor or Brooklyn or Howell, I mean, that's within a proximity to sharing tools that you don't want to buy or, don't have access to borrow,
Right.
except
yeah.
for, yeah. Um,
Well,
I
maybe that's like having a list of like by area or county or even just where everybody's like a general location of where everybody's at so they can find other people that are closer to them to like maybe become friends with a little closer than all of Michigan because we're, you know, a lot of people. So
yeah.
I've always had a hard time lending my tools out because it's one of those things where they don't get back to you or they come back broken and
Yeah.
um having some guidelines on there and some stuff where you sign it out and actually sign some stuff, I feel like I would feel more comfortable. You know, there's tools that we've bought we might only use once a year, once every other year that they're not everybody's gonna go out and just buy.
or maybe like
Yeah.
maybe like reciprocal using, you know, like maybe if you come over here and help me do this thing, I can go over to your house with this thing and help you do that thing. Might be an option as well.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
or
that would be perfect.
a monetary deposit that you'll get back when it comes back in good shape.
Working order, yeah.
Yep.
All sorts of good ideas here.
Yeah, there's just so much stuff to think about.
There is. There is.
Mhm.
Before we started thinking about community type stuff, we were actually just gathering everything we could for ourselves and on our own, on our own.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Like I mentioned the wood chipper and the big heavy machinery stuff that I've bought that I might not use it all the time. And it would be nice to have other people out there that would get use out of it because when you don't use it, it just goes bad.
Yeah.
Sure. Whether
That's,
you're using it or sitting, yeah, you're right. You're right.
yeah. I bought a log splitter.
Did you really? Nice. That's cool. Brandon, where do you guys stay at? You said you're close to Brooklyn, or whereabouts are you?
Lansing.
Well, we're in a little town called Dansville. It's between Mason and Williamston. It's like out in the middle of nowhere. That's why I kind of just said the Lansing-ish area.
Southeast of
Um,
Lansing.
yeah, it's kind of like right in the middle between Lansing, Ann Arbor, and Jackson. It's like right in the
Okay.
middle of there. And we have 8 acres out here, so we've
Okay.
been farming for quite some time, like larger, a little bit larger scale for a small homestead.
Right. Yeah, I know the area. My son lives. He's in Weberville now, but he used to live in Williamston, so I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Hmm.
I think the history of Dansville, Dansville was actually supposed to be the capital of Michigan at one point, and then they decided against it for some reason.
There was too many fires. Like there's like this weird series of fires that keep happening like in the town of Dansville. We don't actually live in the town of it. We live outside of it. But yeah, there's all sorts of weird like stuff. There's like this house, it's called the Octagon House, and supposedly there's so many rumors about it could be haunted or it was, you know, part of this thing or that thing, you know, and then there was a movie done
60s or 70s.
yeah,
The Burning
about
House.
yeah, it's called The Burning House. And it was this lady, she had been horribly abused by her husband, and so she burned the house down while he was sleeping, and he burned to death in his bed. And that's just downtown.
Oh, that happened in Dansville? That was Farrah
Yeah.
Fawcett
Oh
who
wow.
Yeah, that
played.
was a
Yeah.
Farrah Fawcett movie.
Yeah.
It was
So
based on a true story in
Right.
Dansville.
yeah, and then we
Oh,
have like a
really?
then we have another haunted area that's down by the hunting ground somewhere. We've never been to it. We've only lived in this area for
8, 10 years,
9 years,
9 years.
10 years, 9 years ish. Um, so it's pretty new to us. We're originally from the Flint area, so
Hmm.
And we came out here and we kept really quiet and then just started kind of getting more involved in the last couple of years. So But
Mhm.
it's a small enough community where we know enough people around that you go uptown and you run into somebody you know.
Yeah. And there's all sorts of like farms and we get stuff from the Amish. Um Lots of farm stands everywhere. It's really
Mhm.
nice. Like we have a Facebook group where we, have, a free group and everybody's kind of looking out for everybody else and their pets and stuff. It's a really nice small community in and of itself without it actually, being like an intentional community.
Right, right. Yeah, I have popped onto your site and have seen some of those things you're talking about with the Amish and that. So yeah.
Yeah, my Amish store, I don't know how I ever lived without having an Amish store so close because when you say the word bulk, that is my candy. I will be like, "Oh, you have bulk canning lids? Don't mind if I do. You have bulk flour? Sign me up."
Yeah,
That's right.
we're buying 50-pound bags of flour a week for stuff, just the organic flour from the Amish.
What do you
Wow.
Yeah.
do with it?
Wow.
We have 6 children, so I cook for an
Oh,
army
wow.
I mean, like,
That's a
well,
lot of kids.
yeah, so I mean, actually, you know what? That just gave me a great idea of something else, like community type things we don't think about. Cooking larger portions of food for larger, groups of
Mhm.
people. I've had
Mhm.
people come over and ask me, "Can I watch you to see how much you cook?" Because I would like to know how much I need to cook for a lot of people. And I'm like, "Sure, just come on over and I'll show you."
Right, right.
What are the age ranges of your kids?
Um, our oldest is 17, and then we have our second 16, third is 14, fifth is 12, oh wow, fourth is 12, fifth is 11, and sixth is 8. Wow.
Oh my gosh. Big eaters. Oh no
Yeah,
Yes.
wonder.
right.
Wow.
And
When
it's fun trying to teach everybody because that was like, okay, a lot of people is a lot of hands to help, but you have to first teach them how to do it. And
Mhm.
with the children, that's a lot of patience, getting them to try to learn sourdough day. So currently our kitchen is out of commission due to a leak, but normally we would have sourdough day. So twice a month it's sourdough day. We stock up on all sorts of, stuff to make our bread or bagels or
English.
English muffins or burger buns or whatever it is that we're making. And each person has a job. So like my oldest daughter, she would mix the ingredients together, melt everything down, get the dough for its first rising, and then another kid would roll it out and press it out if it needed to be pressed out, or put it into the pans for its second rising. And then usually we would take turns with who was going to do the cooking or the flipping or whatever it is. My other daughter would help with that, or my youngest son, he loves to be in there. The older boys, they do all the heavy lifting. So if, we need them to help with something like that, I'm like, hey, can you, like when I'm canning, hey, can you go outside and get me another box of jars? I don't have to do that. But, getting everybody organized and teaching them, what they, how they can help, and figuring out what they like to do in the whole process of what it is that we're doing makes it much more enjoyable. Because if I was just like, okay, you do this thing and you do this thing and you do this thing, and they're like, but I don't want to do that, I want to do this thing, then you have a bunch of complaints.
yeah,
So we first start off with everybody trying, first they watch me and then they get to try out the thing and they can swap around. And there's so much of it
I
that
love
needs to be done that sometimes there's two or three people that can do one job. So that's fun trying to, figure all of that out.
We do the same
Mhm.
view on working with our chickens too. We raise, 200 to 300 meat birds every year, and we teach butchering classes. So we have the kids go out and actually teach with us. So we've had adults coming to learn how to butcher from our, 10-year-old, 11-year-old children. We're teaching them how to butcher because they've been doing it for so long.
Yeah, that was really fun for them. They really enjoyed it.
nice.
Especially like our 12 and 14-year-old daughters. They were out there. We like to keep our class sizes small so that we can have more one-on-one with everybody. And they were out there, teaching these adults how to butcher these chickens. And it was just fantastic.
And that it was great great because the adults were looking at them as these are like some people I can get some information from. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
like our 14-year-old can process deer without, I mean, I got sick of it at one year. I was like, didn't feel good. And I had been teaching her and I was like, this one's on you. You're going to go process it. And she processes probably 16 deer a year. So
Incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's much more fun to learn from the kids too because they're all excited about it and passionate, and they move slowly through it, and they notice things that we might not notice if we're moving too quickly through stuff, and so it brings like that childhood fun and joy and spark back to whatever it is that we're doing, if we can manage the not so fun times as well, so because we do have those times. Uh, but usually good talking it out and figuring out whose needs aren't being met, really
Right.
helps. So,
Oh, that's so good to hear about.
but that's something that it sounds kind of funny as I'm sitting here talking to you guys about me doing it, but I'm also curious how other people do it as well to see if somebody else has a better way of doing things, or I love to harvest information from wherever I can to see if I can do it better or improve my skills too.
Mhm.
So that's one of the things I'm interested in is group dynamics. What do other people's group dynamics look like in the community setting? So
Yeah.
Are any of you by water right now of any kind?
we don't specifically have water, but we have what's called vernal pools. Now, because our water table is so low, so us putting in like we have, speaking of tools, we have one of those hand wells, like you can just dig it down.
emergency well.
Yeah, an emergency well kit. So like if, something happened and we didn't have power for a while, the water table is really low in certain spots in our yard, and we can just, shove that thing down into the ground. We actually did an experiment this summer to see how low the water table actually was. And we have this really sandy area in the yard, and the kids dug down. Would you say it's probably about 10 feet or so? Maybe.
Yeah, they got about 10, but it was scary enough to where I was like, you guys need to get out of there because it's going to collapse on you.
Right.
But the water was there. It was like, when you dig in the sand at the beach and you get down to the
Yeah.
water after like a foot or two.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got down 10 feet and there was the water table.
Mhm.
So our front part of our yard, it floods every spring. There's a drain that runs through it, that's supposed to work, but it really doesn't. So like we get to go kayaking on it. Some years. So I mean, it's definitely not a place where we can really do much with it, but we make do with what we have. And the kids noticed that there were clams in the vernal pool in fall, so it's actually moist enough over there that it's retaining clams throughout the whole entire year. um and yeah, so I mean that's as close as a water as we get, but it's super interesting. So
The neighbors have an 11-acre gravel pit
yes,
that we
they
can
do.
see from our window.
Oh, wow.
I was
We were
gonna say
hoping to.
the spot where it floods at your place, you need to get like a backhoe and put in like a pond or something right
We've
there.
talked about
Yeah, we want to. The only way we'd be able to do it is if we did it as a livestock pond, because of all the
Mm.
rules and regulations here. And I am
Oh.
not quite ready to do cows yet, and I'm not a goat person.
Mm.
So someday,
We tried
unless yeah, maybe someday.
the father over at the Amish store said the 2 days you'll remember about buying boats is the day you bought it and the day you got rid of it because you'll know you don't like goats anymore.
Yeah, well, I mean, goats are great for people that love goats, but we found out we don't love goats. They like to destroy things. I like chicken, and I like chicken poop, so I'm good with my chickens.
You like chicken poop? Can be very
Yeah.
useful in a lot of different ways. Right?
Soil. Oh my gosh,
Oh,
chicken poop goes
okay.
in everything.
Soup,
Um,
chicken poop soup.
No.
Yes, chicken. My plants love chicken poop soup. We have 3 micro orchards on the property, and so I'm constantly like, I need poop. I need more poop. Kids, go get me some poop. Like, poop is life around here.
Oh,
Can I come up and get a bucket?
You gotta dig it out yourself, but there's plenty out there.
Hmm.
Yeah,
There's
I
actually
need more stuff, more poop for my compost pile.
Have you looked on Facebook Marketplace for people that are trying to get rid of poop for free? Because lots of farms, we have a donkey sanctuary here, and they're always looking to get rid of poop. And the county fairgrounds, they're always looking ready to get rid of poop. And lots of places,
they have a
so,
compost.
yeah, they start compost piles, and so they like already have like poop that's starting to break down.
Yeah.
But if you layer your soil right, you can put the hot poop right on top of it as long as it's watered enough. So I've even used I've used not decomposed horse poop before. Like I've broken it up into little chunks and then put because I got it from the county fair. I've experiments with so much poop, you guys, like so much poop. And I'll break it up and then just put it like not too close to the plants, but like further away from the plants, and then just soak it to death until the poop is all like crumbly and breaking apart, and it bypasses the whole hot phase of the poop. So,
Mhm.
but
Interesting. Yeah, this is great. No, it's something I never thought of having lived in an environment you guys are in. So yeah.
yeah, there's all sorts of places for free poop. Look for free poop. Search for free poop everywhere.
The marketplace is a great find for a lot of that kind of
So
stuff.
much. Yeah. And if you guys have like a local free group, if you don't have one, start one, because I swear I'm just like, I need this thing. I'm not, before I buy it, I'm going to go post it in the free group. Somebody might have one they're not using, or they might want to sell it at a low cost. Um, or they might like throw it out on the garbage, and I'm like, oh, I want this thing. Like, can you just set it outside, pull it outside for me, or go hop in the car and go grab the garbage. I mean, like I always say like we're like the king and queen of garbage picking for resources. I was just telling him the other day, I was like, do you know how useful a trampoline is? Like lots of people throw away broken trampolines, and a
Mhm.
lot of them come with like the netting. And the netting you can be used for fencing material to keep like the rabbits and deer out of your gardens. And the mat, the black mat, is really good for weed suppression if you need to like kill off some weeds. Um, and I did that in my Bia Perry.
A lot of upcycling.
Yes, and then the metal, you can either use it for, something that you come up with for the metal, or you can scrap it and then put that money into another project.
We were looking into doing hoop houses with the half trampolines because you can actually get them together. But we gathered enough, but
They're all different sizes. We didn't realize there were so many different sizes. So it's like 13 foot and 14 and 15 and 16. And we're like, well, that's probably not going to work out. So, but there's all sorts of like things to find that are free to reuse them or repurpose them.
I wish you guys were my neighbors.
Our neighbors don't wish that we were their neighbor.
they have their same thing too. Neighbors have cows and pigs and turkeys and chickens and
We have piles all over the property that we call resource piles. Our neighbor calls them junk piles.
Well, I'd rather have something like that than the constant drone of lawnmowers and weed eaters and
Sure.
vacuum
Yeah.
cleaners and mulchers and blowers. Ah!
Yeah.
you still get them out in this property too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, unless you're in a forested area, you're still gonna be hearing all of that. But I agree with you. There's days where it's a constant all day thing, and I'm outside and I'm like, okay, try not to focus on it. Focus on
Mhm.
this other thing. But it's really nice being able to go outside and be like, okay, I need this thing. I need a piece of wood. I need some bricks. I need some rocks. I need this thing to use for a project. I highly recommend everybody should have resource piles if they can.
Like a junk drawer.
I do put them in certain areas. So
Yeah.
if I need a piece of PVC, I know where my PVC pile is. If I need a brick, I know where the bricks are. This is the scrap wood. This is the wood that's good up good. I put tarps over it.
I love it. I love it. When you were talking about, well, I'll call it organization, and like a system approach, with your bread making and your kids, and everyone has a role. And it made me think about how important that would be for an intentional communities to have a rhythm and a flow to these kinds of things. In my little case, um, I I stumbled upon my commitment to now. You know those doors that go on the side of the house that have steps down into your basement. They open up like this.
Like
They're
a cellar?
Oh,
ground
cellar
level.
doors.
Cellar door.
Mhm.
Yeah.
A cellar door, yeah, but I have to buy a whole new unit, a whole new cover for it, and the steps still go down to the basement. I have a dry basement. They they closed it all, but as I was transitioning from summer to winter, fall to winter with all my tools and my she shed and all the stuff that you don't want to expose to those freezing temperatures. And just 10 steps away, I mean 5 steps away, is that access to my basement. I'm going to totally put time into upgrading this thing and,
Mm.
getting a nice clean access down there. And it would be just so easy. It's a system that I want to have so that I can have a more flexible lifestyle, not tied to, having to do and to reinvent the wheel or to keep, yeah, efficiency, I guess is the word I'm looking
Yeah.
for.
Mm.
Yeah, if you don't have to go searching for a tool if you need a tool or I mean that's what we're working in right now is we're organizing our pole barn because over the years we've collected so much stuff and it had accumulated and now it's time to organize it and figure out what we need and what we don't need.
Mhm.
And so that's what we've been spending the last year doing as well is, organizing it, making it more efficient so that if I need this tool, I know exactly where it's at, it has a home. Um but then also, too, having easy access right out of your basement, that would be, amazing for, outside stuff as well.
Yeah, maybe eventually it can be like oh, what's it called? Well, to store your root vegetables and stuff like that down there. I don't
Oh
know.
yeah, cellar.
Yeah, I don't know if it's cold enough down there, but it was there originally, and I'm trying to recreate and rehab this house so that it has its original components, usable.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Is it like a Michigan style basement or
It's a full basement,
is it
I
full?
can,
Okay.
yeah, it's huge. Yeah.
Well, I think that that's a good point too. Like with the seller is I posted that on the poll as well because I want to see how many other people in the group were interested in learning food preservation. Because that's one of the things that, in this economy with this many people, I have to think about preserving food long term. And we have like a commercial food dehydrator and I use that thing. That thing has saved me so much time, instead of it has 10 racks in it, so I can do that much
Mm.
stuff in one sitting, versus the little, tiny ones that most people have. Um, and canning, like finding resources to can because that stuff jars are expensive. I have done very dirty awful things to acquire jars from cleaning out people's disgusting Michigan basements, like
Mm.
things that like are sitting in yuck. And I pulled I've done it several times, pulling jars out, cleaning them out, getting the lids off of them to reuse them, and all just some work to put into it, and I'm getting these things for free. And then uh figuring out, like, we don't have space for a cellar here because our house was built in the 70s, so if I wanted to do like an underground cellar type thing, I would have to get some sort of I've seen those pod thingies and then bury it in the ground. So I mean, I find it interesting all the different ways that people have done, making cellars. We do have an area, or doing it out of bricks or concrete, 'cause I know that holds a lot. It's a lot cooler um in the ground. And I'm curious about like what other people are doing as well in these larger situations. So that'll be something to learn, something I'm interested in learning. But I have lots of, weird parts of, I know how to find things and do things, but
Time is the thing.
yeah, time is another thing too, like thinking about in group settings, um, that you don't really think about. Especially, I noticed that like in the Soul Forest fire, and I hope that she totally doesn't mind that we are using her as an example, or we are using them as an example. um that it's hard when you do have a lot of little people, and they haven't, like, we're ours is getting easier by the year, because as our kids get older, they get a little bit more self-sufficient, and then a little bit more self-sufficient. But when they're really young, that's really challenging to try to get projects done. I mean, we have projects sitting around here that I wish we would have had the time to get them done so much sooner, but it's hard managing the time to figure out to do it. I thought about, when we were talking about like the tools, and trading, those types of things, that I wonder if it would be helpful to create a system where we help people like finish up projects, like how the Amish do, like when the Amish have, like they have like everybody in the community come over and help them finish the project in a day or two, instead of the people having to, it could take, weeks for us to get a project done, that like if we had just,
Yeah.
a few more people, we could have gotten it done in a day. Something like that. Um, so yeah, that would be helpful. Or something to look into.
Yeah. Well, whenever you have something like that come up again, put the word out to us. We're only an hour away or less than,
Yeah, and
from each
also too, it's
other.
like good learning experience, because I would be willing to go help people do something. Like, I really want to learn how to butcher a pig, but I want to do it in person. So I'm really interested in finding somebody that'd be willing to have me there on butchering day, so I can learn how to butcher a pig with take a few kids with me and be like, hey, can you?
I
Yeah.
butchered one, just didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
You could just let me know, tell me how it is. I don't, I mean, I've never really truly hunted at all. I fish. That's a form of hunting, but it's not the same as, taking down a deer or anything like that and just doing the full dressing on it. For one, I have a ton of friends and family that hunt. I've never been, I've never really had a desire, but I enjoy the eats. So if it's prepped, I will surely pay for it handsomely. But no, I don't think I could do that.
Yeah, me neither.
Sorry.
That's okay. I mean,
Yeah.
I've realized too that, like, well, during our chicken butchering and stuff, is that I do not enjoy like actually culling the animal. Um, my husband does it, and then we have one of our daughters, and she's fine with that. And some people just are fine with that part of the process. I am
Sure.
not, and I'm very grateful, and I will cut everything apart, off of it, pull the guts all out. I will do all of that stuff, but I cannot bring myself to actually put the animal down. Um, so there's just some of us that just
Yeah, grandma.
can't. So
Yeah,
We try to
grandma
be
up north in the thumb had me doing that a couple of years, quite a few years ago. Chickens, yeah. That was
every time we kill anything on the property, we always thank it before we put it down. Thank you
yeah,
for your life.
yes, every time,
yeah.
yeah.
Try to be
And
very
stuff.
respectful of it. And,
Yeah.
although we're stocking up for the winter for our food, we are killing a lot of chickens, or, I fish myself and we go up and I don't know if I've ever thanked a fish for its life, but
We did. We
Yeah,
caught a
yeah.
salmon this year, and we thanked that salmon.
No, that's great. It really is for sustaining you for however long it will. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And even plants. Have you guys thanked your plants before you
I talk
chop
to
your
my parents all the time.
Oh yeah, me too. I'm like, okay guys, I'm gonna weed in this area, and I'm gonna move some of you around, so please don't die.
Right, right. Yeah.
Yeah, talk to them. Yeah.
So Erica, are you in an apartment or a house or what kind of situation are you
I'm in
in?
a house. I own my
Mhm.
own house. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a little 1,300 square foot house with 4 bedrooms for just me and 2 cats and 2 turtles. So,
Well, and you've been out there for how long?
uh, I've been here since in this house since September of 2019, and I went up to East Lansing for college and in
I was going to
2009,
ask you.
so I've
Okay.
been in the
Yeah.
area since.
Yeah. What kind of work do you do?
Well, still unemployed. I haven't had I haven't worked full time since February of last year. So just kind of draining savings. But I do when I am employed, I do communications work for nonprofit advocacy organizations and
Mhm.
political organizations and that sort of thing. I was the communications director for Planned Parenthood of Michigan before I was let go, and then before that I worked for the Michigan Senate Democrats for six and a
Oh,
half
that's
years
great.
doing like social media stuff.
Hmm. Yeah.
I've got some people that I know are wrapped up in the East Lansing Democrats, the MSU, that I see regularly too. Okay, that's nice.
Yep.
So it sounds like, well, it looks like that we all have property, and if something comes forth, would everybody sell their place and, take that equity to contribute and invest in the intentional community?
Yeah, that's my goal. I
Mhm.
own my house here in Flint. I have a cottage in Durand. Willing to sell both, and whatever equity I have, my cottage is bought and paid for. House still has quite a few years on it, but yeah, that is my intention. Absolutely.
Are you there at Leisure Lake
Oh, next
What'd you
door.
next door?
Yep.
I grew up in that area. I went to Doyle Knight, the elementary school there, and I went to Durand High School.
Okay, nice. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, we're in Holiday side,
Holiday
so
Shores.
yep, yeah.
I
We're right
used to
down
know
the
the
road.
people who owned that. I went to high school with their kids.
Oh wow. Okay.
The
Okay.
Atkinsons was the
Yeah.
people.
Right. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's a small world
I know.
Right,
after
isn't it?
all.
Absolutely.
And I know a
Absolutely.
lot of people in Flint too. So Flint was
Yeah.
my stomping grounds.
Okay.
That's where we live is in Flint now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I went to Eisenhower Elementary and would have went to Southwestern. But
Okay. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, I don't have much, I don't think I have that much equity in in my Brooklyn house. And my Idaho house has got gobs of equity. I mean, you've probably heard
Hmm.
about how much Idaho has grown. I cannot believe the growth. I don't even, all the farmland around me is gone,
Oh
but
boy.
I
Yeah.
can't access it because I'm not going to sell out from under my
Mhm.
daughter.
Mm.
She needs a place to live, and
Oh, your daughter's living in your Idaho
yeah,
house?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
she lives here, and I mean, she pays a small amount of rent, and we
Mhm.
rent out another to another woman a bedroom.
Nice.
And that's my situation in Hawaii too. My son lives in that house, and that has a lots of equity as well. It's not it's on the Big Island. It's on the wet side. A lot of people don't imagine that, when I bought the place in 2016, I got 2 acres and a house and a shack for how much was it? 150,000?
Well,
It's not like Oahu or Maui or Kona.
still
Yeah,
Hawaii.
it's
this
from Hawaii.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're in Hawaii.
yeah,
I don't.
it's very wet, and it's got no soil except for a bunch of lava rock. And
No.
it's got quite a few yucky invasive species that I tried growing some stuff there, and I wasn't successful. But my money is all locked up. Darn it! I can't contribute much into like the beginning steps of an intentional community, because that's a interest of top. That's an interest that I don't know how much more we're going to be meeting, but just the topic of how much does each person foresee or is comfortable with investing in that first lump sum? Does that make
Right.
sense of a question?
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, I'm not sure what's going to happen with my mom from here till whenever she passes, but the intention was to, if nothing really surmises from what we'll be able to do here this summer, I'm probably going to be down at her place anyways, which is in Heartland,
Mhm.
staying with her.
Mhm.
So one or both of our places will be sold already, and we'll be just staying down with her. She's in Heartland Meadows, so um, and go from there.
Mhm.
So then, Miranda, are you looking to expand upon where you're at, or what is your
So
thought?
that's an interesting question. I know that right here where we're at right now is a place of learning. I call it the house of learning because it has been one thing after another of what not to do. So I know this place isn't our forever place. What I'm trying to do right now is I'm trying to build it, I'm trying to turn it into its own little a regenerative farm so that when I do go to sell it, it's more valuable to somebody in that way. Um, and we want to find more land, much more land. I want forests, lots of forest. I've already talked to my parents about it, and my mom said, just find the place, and when I retire in 10 years, I'll move on to the property. So, we have the interest and the support. We did spend some time the last couple of months um looking for property up north, just to kind of get an idea of what's out there and how much it's going for, and if it's, it seems like, we're kind of stuck right now because it seems like if we want more property, we're going to have to buy like a house that's falling apart and that isn't big enough for us, or it's way, way, way out of our price range. Um, so it's there were some places that were like 100 acres that had a smaller house that would have been suitable and if we all wanted to live on top of each other for a while, that were within our price range. But I want to hold out and see what happens. Like my gut is telling me to just hold out and wait. It's not time yet. So I'm just growing things and planting more things and having fun.
Good. That's important. Gotta be fun.
I was just thinking about that earlier. I was like, gardening is not supposed to be stressful. And I see so many people talking about how stressful it is. And I'm like, guys, we gotta change this up here. Like, we gotta find the joy back in the gardening. Well, I have a lot of great ideas written down of things that we can do to improve the group, and like lots of different files and lists that we can make to see what we're looking for or what other people have to offer, or ideas for like guest speakers coming in and talking about certain things, posting in larger intentional groups, our larger intentional community groups to kind of get our name out there, and of course getting the YouTube channel up and posting our videos and getting in touch with the people that did say that they would be willing to do some teaching as well, and seeing about them getting some videos together for us as the season gets started here. And I know for me, personally, this year, I'm working on getting I start seeds in February for peppers and stuff. So my thing is going to be helping people figure out what they need to get started if they want to start starting seeds inside. And then walking people through the growing season. That's what my farm page is doing this year. And yeah, so
What is your farm page?
oh, we're Earth Art Homestead. It's like we call it Earth Homestead because it just sounds funny, but my intention was that it was Earth, Art, Heart, and then Art, like combined together.
Oh, okay. So wait, what is the actual like if I'm searching the page, or could you
Um,
put a link to it or something?
yeah, let me see if I can put a link to it for it here. Let's see. Yeah, figure out how to use Facebook here.
I always type it in as Earth Olmsted because it's easiest for me to remember.
Earth Homestead, okay.
Hold on a sec.
Olmsted with
I'll get a link here. Hang on just a second. There it is. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. We like making everything like kind of like being jokester about everything and making it more and fun and enjoyable. If you haven't noticed, we're big on fun and joy around here.
Gotta
That's
be that way
good.
too, right? Yeah.
There we go.
Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, I'm already following you.
Oh, okay, good. All right. Yeah, I'll be sharing all sorts of things as we go throughout the season and um also be doing like a subscription based thing as well and offering my intention is to find this year I would like to find people that either want me to grow chickens for them to eat
Mhm.
or um finding people that they want to grow their own chickens but they don't want to do the butchering part and I'll do the butchering part for them. So that's kind of like my big thing that I'm looking for right now. My idea of the intentional community type stuff is more like like a bigger group, like bigger than just actually living all on the same property right now, just
Mhm.
because that's not feasible for us. So I want to find, you know, people, like-minded people, to work with in the early stages now, so that, you know, I have a big community and I know a bunch of people in different areas and, you know, we can swap all of this information and have fun.
Right, right. One thing I was doing some research on too was land, obviously, in different counties now for, you know, whether it's residential or commercial, or how are you able to build multiple outbuildings, if you will, on on 100 acres, right? Will they allow you to put other buildings on that? Or is it just the one single house with like a pole barn or something, right? So there's a
Mhm.
lot of
Yeah.
cool things I hear that have to be checked out too.
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure. Like I looked into that a little bit and it was confusing um for because it goes down to like the township laws or whatever city or whatever that you're in. And but there are some places in Michigan, not many. Hey, can you turn the light on for me, please? Adam, can you turn the light on for me, please? I can't. Okay, there we go. I'm like fading away and I keep getting closer and closer. Um so like there's like places in Michigan where there is where it's really relaxed as far as what you can do to the property. There's not many and I don't know the names of them off the top of my head. The only reason why I know of them is because of being in like the prepper groups and stuff, people looking for land where you don't have a lot of regulations on them.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Other things that you have to look for are like if we're looking for like our intentional community is going to be more eco on the eco-friendly side. So I had to look into like outhouse type situations, like what do you do with waste, you know, if
Mhm.
you're not using it in a sewer or a stop
Septic.
septic tank, thank you.
Right.
A septic tank type situations, like what are we going to do with that? Because there's lots of regulations on that. And then like bedroom sizes, like here in our township, a bedroom has to be a certain size before it can be considered a bedroom.
Mhm.
And I know like we watched this one guy, he's in Canada, and he was originally the guy that got me thinking about this outside of the box. Instead of putting a foundation on the dwelling, he just set it on big rocks. And that got around a lot of laws as well, because it wasn't a permanent fixture. And that's where it gets nitty gritty. Is it a permanent fixture? Because if it's not, and you can move it, or it can be removed, or you know something like that, there's a lot of leeway right there. Um, and especially like that's why lots of times people like do like trailers like on wheels, you know, because they're, you know, you can move them anywhere, except for, you know, they're not. I always thought that you cannot live with comfortably with many people in one, so it wasn't like really an option that I was looking into. And you can't, and they're hard to make eco-friendly, like um sorry, I was having an indigestion there. When I was thinking of the idea of a couple of years ago about how I wanted to add dwellings to the property. I liked the idea of being able to put things like on a not permanent foundation, and making the whole little area eco-friendly in and of itself, so that a handful of people could live in this smaller area and like could catch rainwater, and they had a composting toilet outhouse instead of something that goes into the ground, because lots of areas are restricted on that because it's contamination to the soil in the area, because a lot of Michigan has such low water table because essentially it's a swamp. Yeah, there's trying to get around everything is what I've been researching. My next thing that I'm actually researching is how to, like, the specific laws and legal terms. That's what I want to, or that's what I'm learning personally right now. Because there's a lot of like things that you can get around if you know the legal terminology to do so. It's not my favorite thing. I'm not gonna lie. I'd rather be outside shoveling poop into the garden for real. But I want to know how it all works in its own little system, so that I can I have things that I want to do. I don't know how to describe them. Um and there's this guy called Brandon Joe Williams. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of him. His marketing is something else. I don't want to say what it is right now because it involves a lot of F words. And he's very brash, but his legal advice is sound, and I want to learn more about that so that I can buy property without having to pay for it. So that's my goal. And I know that it can be done. I just have to figure out how to do it, because if I can figure out how to do that, I can help so many people do so many amazing things.
Sure. I had read an article
So-
yesterday just on that exact thing you just spoke about getting land without having to pay for it.
Yeah.
So
Does that involve a land trust by any chance?
It involves having you would get a mortgage, and then the mortgage company, you would not pay it, and then the mortgage company would sue you. And then the way checks and balances work is that, since we're not actually paying for anything with actual physical real money, once you get into legal terminology of things, you can actually, in the paperwork, it says, if you know what to look for, that when the house is sold or the property is sold, and that the United States government is actually the one that's responsible or has already paid it, because or the bank has already paid it or something like that, and that they're actually, like, we don't actually owe anything on it. And I'm real rusty on this because I'm just now starting to learn it. And then you don't actually, like, when we are paying like our mortgage on our houses and stuff right now, um it's us just paying extra on the house because the mortgage has already been paid off by some other entity. If you look like into the contracts and the legal jarble of everything. So this is what I wanted to learn. This is what I want to know, is because the information is out there. I just got to figure out how to do it. And he talks about this type of stuff. Like, he's always talking about people like going to car dealerships and doing some fancy maneuvers with the paperwork and stuff, and people are walking away without having to pay for cars. So it's really interesting how our monetary system is set up and our legal system is set up, that everything is already paid for because we don't actually use any money, and our money has no value. Um, so yeah, that's a whole other thing. But
It
super
is.
interesting. And if you want to check out his stuff, it's oh gosh, it's called onestupidfuck.com.
Okay.
Yeah, it's rough. But the information is so valuable. He has a whole course and a book, and I just like started binge watching it the last couple days, really. I've known about it for quite a while, but could you imagine like what would happen if we got our hands on this information, we're actually able to do it and like start up like buy up
Ooh.
these big pieces of property and start these communities on them and take back our land and be able to
Yeah.
like do good stuff with it and keep them safe from like big corporations and like I'm all like save Michigan, like just
No, that's
I'm
awesome.
just one like lawsuit away, I don't know what I'm gonna get myself into, but we'll see.
Mhm. Yeah, something to dig into too. I will certainly look into it. You can do some if you'd like to.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, all right. I think we should wrap it up. I don't want to do too much longer.
Yeah.
So
Hour and a half now.
yeah, we're at an hour and a half, and I know that I think Mitch kind of wanted to keep him at an hour, so we didn't. I think he did. I don't know. He said that we are, and it was a new term. You guys might know it. I think it's called egalitarian. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but
Oh,
it means
egalitarian. Yeah.
egalitarian. Okay, yeah. So I love that. I didn't even know like this was a word. I'm always learning new
Mhm.
words here. And I loved it that like we're all running the show. Like it's our group. We're all doing it together. We're all figuring out what we want and what we want to learn. And we just need to, find some volunteers to like pull it all together and then just show up. All we gotta do
Right.
is show up. So, well, thank you guys so much
Yeah,
for
thank you.
hopping on, and I had so much fun with you all today.
Yeah.
And thank you, Miranda, for all the spearheading you're doing and all the note taking and,
Yeah,
branching
yeah.
off into the next steps.
You're
Yeah.
so welcome.
That's
And
really a lot to be appreciated.
it's
Mhm.
my pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we will reconvene next month, and I will post a link for that as soon as I figure out what day. I think you want to do the first Sundays of the month at
Yeah,
4.
we're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm not sure what date that is. Do you know what date that is?
That is
February.
it'll be
We're rushing along, right? It's
February
Yeah.
1st.
February
February
1st.
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
Yeah.
February 1st. Okay. So I think that will probably be what he wants to do, but we'll double check. And I will see you guys all again next month.
sounds great.
Or in the group
Sounds
too.
Take care till then. Yes.
good. Have a good
All right.
evening, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Take care.
You
Bye.
too. Bye.